So we're sitting lounging out here at the Opera House in Reykjavik. Weird setting, but there's a lot going on with War of the Roses. And normally you launch a game, you do some DLC, some expansions, but it seems more like you don't really have that philosophy with War of the Roses. It's more of a service that you're constantly building.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we look at this as a long-term investment. Paradox sees this as a franchise that they want to grow and cultivate and keep alive, and we really care about this franchise. And, I started off as a gamer like most guys in development as a gamer, and I really want to, now that I have the chance to lead a franchise, I really want to make sure that it hits the expectations and kind of really delivers to our fans and the guys that really love the game, gives them what they would expect from something like that, and try and change things. There's a lot of things that have become very commonplace in our industry that I disagree with, and I think a lot of consumers disagree with it. Like for instance, DLC just selling a package as a one-off item. Instead of finding a more unique way of delivering it to the customer, so you're rewarding some of your dedicated fans. I mean, just getting $5 off a dedicated fan isn't very rewarding for me. I rather be able to give that content away to them, and and to still not have our CEO or our investors mad at me, have a monetization system that at least helps us recuperate some of the cost, or at least come at even. That's my goal. I think as developers, we need those business people though, because we'd probably give away everything for free.
I just want you to play it.
Exactly. We want you to play it and like it. That's our biggest goal. It's like, as game developers, we just want to create something that people like and enjoy. And that's our biggest motivation. And I started off in modding, and that was the only thing you got. You didn't sell anything. You wanted people to like your mod and download it and play it.
All right. So I think there's like three major points of things that you talked about here at the convention. Let's start out with the one that's going to launch first, the free trial version of the game. Where was the motivation to go with this kind of trial for War of the Roses right now?
I actually despise demos. And for like several, I would like to think, pragmatic reasons. But the first one is that I feel like it kind of took away the anticipation when you did it pre-launch. It kind of took away that anticipation of that first day of unwrapping it and playing the game, so to speak, in the traditional sense. I'm a bit older, so that was what we did back then. It was like I rode my bike to the store and had to buy it, and then figure a way to get the cellophane off, and then get out of the box, and then plug it in, and then it couldn't work. So then I thought I could blow on the cartridge and make it work. But that kind of removing that anticipation of touching it for the first time. So instead, demos tend to have to reduce the amount of content because they can't give away the entire game, but they want to make it good enough to where people see the value in this game and understand, from a sliver of that content, what they're going to get in the full game. And when you give that to them, now a person's first experience with your game is, for lack of better words, a dumbed down version. And that's kind of unfair to all the effort and investment that not only the people that gave the money to make the game, but the development team that had to work and crunch and probably work insane hours like we've all done, to where we don't understand what sleep even feels like anymore. So, so that was the main, one of the really big thing. Of what about my feelings on demos. So that kind of inspired me to write a document about a year and a half ago called Not Your Mother's Demo, which is a really corny term, but I wanted to get the attention of the senior people at Paradox so they'd understand who I was, and I had just joined up with them, and what my ambitions were, like how I wanted to change things. And that was one of the main reasons for going to Paradox, was because I knew I would have that chance to try and do something differently and get that opportunity. So and then another thing was, it's a pain in the butt to manage with a multiplayer game, trial or demoed servers, and then you lock it down to one map, or how much of the equipment do you give them. And so what we've done is we're letting them play with all the normal users on the official servers, but we will lock them down to the base kits and stuff like that. So there are some limitations, but I'm okay with somebody playing the free version of the game indefinitely, because they're also providing back to their community. So it's a win-win. They're giving us something in return as well as we're giving them something, which is a free game to enjoy, and hopefully that's what they do. And another one of the big things is just obviously giving people an opportunity to try the game and make sure it works. PCs are the infinite amount of versions of that, and unfortunately no game can ever work with every single one of them, though we try really hard to make it as compatible with as many systems as we possibly can.
And of course, you want to make it sound like it's only a benefit to the older players, that there's new players coming in.
Yeah.
But of course, you're going to have to cater to both those who enjoy playing with the new players and those who don't.
Yeah. So, of course, if there's like this huge influx of trial players and they're filling up all the servers, we're going to add more servers, so there's more player space available, and then lock some of those off. So we have the ability to restrict the trial players from coming in and playing on a server, as well as the people who rent servers. So if somebody's renting a server and they don't want to let trial players on that server because they just want the full player guys, then we're more than happy to let them do that. So it'll be an easy thing to access in the server.
So War of the Roses is priced at $30, 30 euros. Did you ever think like maybe we should? Is this, instead of lowering the price, lowering the barrier to entry? Is this like an alternative to that?
No, more than anything, we want a big PSU, and we want a lot of people have a lot of people to play with and a lot of different servers to choose from. We have a healthy player base, but it could absolutely be bigger. So the main goal of this was actually just to get people in there and playing and trying the game out, and the second thing was conversions, so converting them. So that's not our primary objective. So.